Hey, good morning. It's BATJAC JW coming to you at the Collectors Radio Show, the first one of the year. So do appreciate everybody gathering around. And I got an exciting video for you this time to kick off the year with one of my favorite firearms, as you probably can see, and that's why we called it Parkerized. Hopefully you're as excited as I am about what we're going to talk about this time around, and of course the very first Collectors Radio of the year. So we're going to read through some comments as always, no particular order. And again, you know, if I didn't read your comment, it's either you commented after the production of this, or your comment was for some reason got pulled, which is not my doing. It's just an automatic moderator that does it. Or your comment was just a little too rated R for us. Not that we frown on that, but we are a family show. Okay. So here we go. Edward Petty, congratulations on 8 years. I think I was there with you since the Hawaii days. I was touched by the story of your uncle and his cult agent. Happy New Year. Thank you. Yeah, and you know what, Edward? I know you were there from the Hawaii days because I got a care package from you with a bunch of cool stuff and swag, hats and coasters. I had a coaster of the shark from you. Unfortunately, they got damaged when I shipped on everything over here. So I do keep a lot of the stuff I've got from you folks. A lot of people have sent in a lot of things to me, and I still have a lot of it. And I think I even got some really cool socks and stuff. So, but yeah, Edward Petty, I definitely know you've been there for a long time. Joe P, how's it going, Joe? I was there at the very beginning of the channel, but I wasn't there at the very beginning of the channel, but very soon after. I can honestly say I went back through and watched and caught up on all your videos once I subscribed. I believe I can say I have probably seen every episode, if not every one, 99% of them. So I appreciate you still running the channel after 8 years. It's so crazy to think it's been 8 years. And anybody that's watched all the videos or anything, hat goes off to you because there's a lot of crappy videos there. You have provided so many fun videos and entertainment over the years. I can't thank you enough. Fingers crossed. Here's to another 8 years. Happy New Year. All right. Thank you. I do appreciate all the kind compliments and stuff for the channel that we get and videos and all that. We do, try to, and the bottom line is just have fun and, turn this stuff on and see what happens. You never know. Stephen K, as a longtime follower of your channel, I've always enjoyed the content. My first revolver was Smith & Wesson Model 36 from the early 1960s. I regret selling that one. Wishing you a Happy New Year. Cheers. Yeah, we all have those that we sold. Like my stuff, I sold off so many things that I wish I would have kept, but c'est la vie. Slimfire, congratulations on the upcoming 8th year of your channel. Just awesome channel with great content and, of course, beautiful firearms. JW, you are just a down-to-earth person, and we all enjoy the Collectors Radio Talk and your other videos, too. I hope you have a Happy New Year. God bless. Slim, thank you. I do, again, appreciate all the kind words that you folks have been sharing. And, I consider all you friends of the channel. We're just a big group of friends here that we're just hanging out together. Jack Bauer, love the show. I got a Kimber Ultra Carry for Xmas. Really nice little 45 ACP. Once I get it broke in and trust it, 250 or 500 rounds, it will be my new carry gun. I'm tired of Glocks and other 1-9 millimeters. From now on, I only want to get wheel guns, metal guns, lever actions, 1911s, and older collector stuff. The older I get, the more I'd rather just buy less cheaper guns and buy more high dollar ones. I love your retro AR. Great looking gun. Happy New Year. I can relate. Sometimes, you may not have the biggest a whole bunch of stuff, but what you do have is some really cool quality stuff and things that are really awesome. It's always nice to go to a range and everybody wants to go check out what you got because you got something really cool while everybody else has got just something run of the mill. All right. Cranky Gun Reviews. Always love your content. You have the nicest revolvers and handguns I've seen, and a lot of rare-ish ones. I do appreciate that. Again, spoiler alert, not all of them are mine. A lot of times we get things lent to us. This one here, one of these is on loan. Yeah, this one here we're going to talk about. It's on loan, I believe. That's the one that, yeah. Or no, is it the other? No, I'm sorry. It's the other one. It's the other. We got one here on loan for the video's sake. But yeah, I mean, but I know I'm not going to miss an opportunity if somebody wants to lend something to us for the sake of a video or whatnot. You know, and it's something cool that I haven't shown you. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, little secret behind the scenes. Not all of them are mine. A lot of times I get stuff on loan, and I'm not going to miss the opportunity to film it. So, all right, Danger Man. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed 2023. Love your channel. I have a 1973 Smith & Wesson 10.5 round butt. Ooh, you know what? I had a chance to buy one of those and I didn't do it. And I kicked myself. I should have grabbed it. It was a good price too. Is one of my favorite guns. I can totally agree. I totally see that. To be honest, they were all my favorites. I can't pick one. I just went with my dad to the range, and we shot this one, and also 2 pencil-barreled 4-inch Model 10s. We came to the conclusion that this gun was the more accurate and easier to shoot. It's such a heavy snub, and that's why it shoots so well. Joe Friday approved. Yeah, the Model 10 snubby is got to be one of my top ones. All right, Gunner T-Dog, I know you. All right, first let me say, great video. It's hard to believe how long it has been since that first time we talked the story at the old Kmart and hung out at Elite. Thanks to you, I have my Model 36. That's where my Model 36 went, people, in case you're wondering. I don't have one anymore. And my first Colt Commander. Don't forget, T, it's a Colt Commander. It's C-O-L-T, Colt. These two are like your Colt Snubby and will always be in my collection. So here's the hope for a better 2023 for everyone. Yes. Gunner T-Dog has been a long personal friend of mine for many years. We both moved away from the island. Harrison Mantooth, BATJAC JW, at the current going prices of Garands. Oh man, don't remind me. I sold mine, and I should have waited. No, I should have kept it is what I should have done, because I'll probably never afford another one. I wouldn't be able to buy any either. I did say that before I read your comment. I really did, I promise. The first one cost something like $104 plus tax. It appears to be an NRA, good condition. My others are purchased in the CMP for something like $500. Oh yeah, I remember buying one for $500. These were their Greek return rack grades. They have a lot of character. I love that character. On the furniture, some of the parkerizing as well is worn out, but we're all gouged and proof fired, or is it gauged? One of them actually came with a national match barrel with a low MW and TE numbers. Nice. Happy New Year's to you and yours, Stan. Thank you, Stan. All right. And we got D Life here. Good morning. Happy New Year's, everyone. What is everyone hunting in 2023? For me, it is a bushing model Colt 1903 and high powers. Edit. By the way, what time do you film these videos? 3 a.m. ? We work on the production of videos throughout the week. We do. So actually, we work on them throughout the week, and we get them uploaded and we get them scheduled to get released onto the channel. Most of the time, these videos I will try to get them published out on throughout the really late hours of Friday night. So usually throughout all the really wee hours of the morning, the video is available for everybody because of the time zones of everywhere and all that. So I do know that. So I do want to have the video available because some people are really early risers. I am not one of those people. So yeah, that's when we work on the productions of videos throughout the week. All right. So Lion Quest Fitness did respond to that, and he says, for me, it is nothing of collection value, only lever action rifles and 357, and maybe one or handguns that catch my eye. Yeah, and honestly, to be totally brutally honest with you, nothing is on my radar for the new year. My newest favorite purchase is the Walther PPK. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it, so that's definitely satisfied me. So I got to get down to the range and actually put a round through it. So I used to have another one that I had. It was a 380 as well. It was a pleasure to shoot. It was really. Some people said, "Oh, it's atrocious to shoot." I don't know. Maybe you just had a bad one or something. Because I've always had fun shooting them. They're great. Panama Brad, Happy New Year's. Thanks for sharing. Hopefully you have a great 2023. All right. And Frank B. Sally Fields recently said Burt Reynolds was a terrible kisser on screen because he drooled. Having watched Burt Reynolds movies since Deliverance, he probably drooled on purpose. Man, Burt lived it up, though. I'm envious of that guy's life, man. He lived it up. I tell you, it must have been fun as hell to be in his movies. Bohemian Hunting Club, it seems like the year flew by. It certainly does. And Jerry Johnson says, Happy New Year's. Okay. And that is all the comments we got. Again, if we missed yours, I'm sorry. Okay. So, we are going to be talking about what? The World War II 1911 A1s. Oh, man. I love these 1911s. Now, this one here is, now, also, we did a video, and so keep an eye out for it. We did a video on the rundown on one of these, and it's a Colt. Excuse me. It's a Colt, and we did the rundown on it, and basically the purpose of the video was to kind of go through and show a bunch of different markings on them and talk about that, and because these are very expensive now. They even more so recently. These have shot in price that it blows my mind. I can't buy them. I can't afford them. I cannot afford them. A lot of these that I got, the ones that I have, I got lucky for, and the one that I own, the Colt that I own, I had to trade for that. I really did. I could not afford the price tag the guy had on it. Now the price tag is even doubled than what I paid for it. So I had to do some trading for that. And sure, I probably lost on that trade, but that trade was something I really wanted, which was one of these. So anyway, that's what we're kind of, so keep an eye out for that one. It's called the Colt World War II rundown, the 1911 rundown, where we talk about all about that specific one, that Colt, all the markings and everything like that. So actually, for you folks, the radio show here, I decided to go through some of these other ones and talk about those. Okay, so this one here is the Ithaca Gun Company. This one here is, I believe, this one was manufactured in I think it was 1945. This one was manufactured. I did look it up. This is really late war into the war already. The Ithaca Gun Company ones, the New York one, is now, to make sure you are looking at them correctly, there's always an inspector cartouche or stampings right here, right above where the scalloping is on the trigger area here. There's always going to be an inspector's mark right there. The Ithaca is, because it was these were done in New York, as well as the Remington Rand. Now this one is in really good shape. I'm actually really envious of how good of a shape this one's in. Not that I'm like looking for ones that are like in pristine shape, but yeah, and compared to my Ithaca, oops, almost broke my coffee cup. Ah, Joe, I can't break that cup. It survived for so many years. My Ithaca's in really rough shape compared to this one here that we have on loan, and I can't afford it, so we don't want to do anything to it, or the owner's gonna make me pay for it. But this is a really good condition Remington Rand that's in excellent shape, really nice shape. This one's in, and so. All right, so both of these are, and this is an early Rand. I believe this is an earlier, I want to say like 43 or 42. I can't remember what the owner told me that it was, but oh, that is a gorgeous piece. The parkerizing is perfect on it. So the inspectors for Remington Rand and Ithaca. That's kind of why I wanted both of these for the sake of this video. Before that one goes back, I'll have to cry a little bit when I return it. FJA is the inspector for Ithaca and Remington Rand, and that stands for Franklin J. Atwood, I believe. Frank J. Atwood or something. So that's who the inspector is for those. The World War II guns, for the most part. Now, this is not like oh, this is the end all, be all, say all. What I say is law type deal. But just as a rule of thumb, just as a loose information that you can have rattling around in the inventory if you're going to shows, gun shows, or shops, and you see these things. The World War II guns were stamped the U.S. property mark on this side, right here, above the serial number. Some of the different ones, and I believe this one because it's an early gun, or no, later gun. I'm sorry, later gun. It's got the underline NO. Yeah, I think it was the earlier ones. The NO before the serial number was not underlined, or I could be getting that entirely wrong. Or how about this? Buy the book and actually read the book. It's been a while since I've gone through the book and actually looked at things, and to be honest with you, there's so much insane information out on there. There's so much stuff in this book that's like, oh well, maybe, you know, the magazine's gonna have the S, but if it's canted slightly to this way with the little pock mark over there, that means it's in, you know, and then also if it's got the dash number. I don't get into all that. I really don't. I just know that it looks cool. It's historically correct. It's not been arsenally rebuilt. I'm interested. Okay, cool. That's it. I mean, other than that, I mean, that's it. But if you're seriously crazy about the whole collecting thing, and I mean, of course, I'm not spilling out thousands upon thousands of dollars. Like, I have no interest in a gun that's worth like $100,000. Somebody said the Singer 1911s, like on Legacy Collectibles, it was like, I mean, you could buy a house for what it would cost. I have zero interest in owning a firearm like that. No, I am a working class stiff that makes, you know, wages that never ever seems to match the same numbers that I needed to match at the end of the month. So no, that's just me. Currently, right now, that's just the way it is. But if you really want to know a lot of the information and you're really interested in a lot of the information, just for fun maybe, this book is excellent. The model 1911, 1911A1 military and commercial models, and they literally go through all of the markings and what they mean and everything. So actually, let's see here. They got some. Yeah, okay. So here's the FJA is the Frank J. Atwood marking, FJA. No enclosing, you know, both on the Remington Rand and Ithaca models right there. That tells you that. On the Colt, you know, GHD, which Guy H. Drewy, and before that, from 41 to 42 would have been WB. So, of course, right there, June 3rd, 1942 is kind of the range from there where he stopped. Where GHD picked up from June 1942 to July 1945. So it's kind of interesting, to see that, where you might have, a later, it might be 42, but it might have been after June 2nd, 42. So you can see how insane that kind of stuff gets. But for me, it's just the cool factor. It's historical. It's it's just got that historical feel and look to it. Everything. That's what I love about it. And the color on these things are just unique. They're cool. They're parkerized. I think it's like a phosphorus or phosphate parkerizing that they did. So these guns are not actually black. They're kind of a darkish gray with a green hue to it. Actually, this one here has more of a green look to it than anything else. And again, I mean, I must say this is just outstanding. You'd almost think that this was redone, but it's not. This one here is gorgeous. Now, if they redo them, if there's something that they do, like a rebuild, you'll see a bunch of numbers and things stamped right under here where the slide stop pin is. You'll see a bunch of numbers or letters and all that, and that's and again, refer to the book to find out what that is, what that means. It's usually a bunch of whatever armory redid the gun. It could be of refinishing it, rebuilding it, and all that kind of thing. So that's always something to look out for when you're interested in these things. So, of course, they both have the really original and old school phenolic resin keys grips here that present on both of them. Back then that's what they were doing. They didn't. Why put really nice walnut on it when it's just going to war and probably not going to come back? But these none of these have the rebuild marks or anything like that. These were literally probably stuffed in Grandpa's duffel bag from the 40s in the war, and came back home with them. So these are really cool to see and have and check them out and all that. I do know that one of the things that I thought it was actually on this, I guess it's not. It's a little bit of a different hammer on my Ithaca here, because I know it's a later production, 1940, 45, I believe. Again, I remember when I got this. That was the description they gave. I think that's what it was. So, and I think the only thing I did with this was what was it that had this? Oh, it had a different plug. That's right. The plug was not original. So I went on eBay and bought a legitimate World War II plug for this one and popped it in there. That's what I did with this one. And when I was in Hawaii, a lot of these were so I couldn't get a hold of them. It was always just like, well, I was not going to be able to own one because just availability sometimes wasn't there, or somebody wanted too much for them. So it took a lot of time, but eventually I did have a friend of mine that hooked me up with one. I did get one, but not like having something like this. This is really cool. But here's that plug, and again you can see this little mark right here where they pinned it. What that did was it gripped onto the spring itself. But this is a legit one. I did make sure that it was an original World War II Parkerized piece. And if you're going to do something like that, make sure it's it's the right piece, and that's what I wanted. So, but something like that is not a big deal to me. I didn't really fret too much about that because the rest of the gun was all original. But again, this was one of those deals that it was so cheap. Well, cheap considering what it should have been going for. I knew, well, what the heck, I might as well get it because it is really awesome to have a U.S. property marked one. So, and then the Colts would have, they would have had the model of U.S. Army on this side, which they did away with that. And then the property mark would have been on the dust cover or the bottom here on that side during that time, World War I. So, but the World War II pistols is the ones that interest me. I really like these. They're really cool. I just love the whole look of them. That arch mainspring housing, the shorter shorter trigger there for shorter hands and smaller hands like mine. And of course we got a holster here, a nice original holster. That's a good mister right here. And this one here is marked Grayton and Night. So interesting, and you can see all that gack all in there, that goop, that green kind of stuff from the rivets in there. That sets it back, I tell you, and the brass thing right here. So that definitely sets it back. It does. This one does not. It's missing its lanyard loop thing, but that's okay. That's okay. It's still a really cool one. So before we get out of here, an added bonus for you. Check this out. You guys have seen it before. Something I've always loved to have, even back on the island, but never was able to get one. Like not a vintage one at least. So, but here's a vintage, definitely from what is this? 1943. This is a Inland General Motors. Manufacturing General Motors barrel, and it is a Saginaw receiver, and I know that by, you can see it right underneath the sight here. It says Saginaw, and that is who made the receiver. The trigger group is an Inland. It's stamped Inland, and I know these are kind of like one of those things where it's like, well, you know, technically there's so many different makers of these things, and they were all put together. Most of them are all Frankenstein. It's just the way they came about. But this one here is it's matching enough for me that I just wanted for historical significance and everything. I know it's definitely probably saw some sort of action in Korea, because I believe when they started putting the bayonet lugs on them, that was during the Korean War. So, but the fact that the barrel is marked 1943 and all that, so it pretty much it's got the vintage. Definitely the vintage look enough for me, you know, to where I'm fine with that. It's got the cross cannons right here stamped and all that, and some other cool markings on it. But yeah, and it shoots really well. The rifling is really still good in this, and so I hung on to it. You know, because they're getting harder to find, and they're getting expensive. And actually, out of the two rifles, the Garand and this is actually my favorite. I'd much rather have one of these. That's just because it's so small and just lightweight and easy to truck around, but I like it. I don't shoot it a lot, but I do shoot it. There's some videos of me shooting this thing on the channel. You can check that out. So, but anyway, I figured I'd break that out. Added a little bonus for you folks, and you can check it out. Hopefully that doesn't fall over on me. But anyway, but yeah, we're going to get out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed your rest of your weekend and everything, and thanks for tuning in. Again, here's to the new year, the first Collector's Radio of the year, and we do appreciate it. Thank you again. So, and many more to come.